Fantastic. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. I really appreciate it. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about. It's something that I have been talking about in sales for a long time. Something that I have commonly used and has been a very effective in sales and marketing that I've done, whether that be in my previous career in finance or whether it be in my career in marketing and sales for our graphic design agency, Pixel True, our copywriting agency, and our publishing agency. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Warren Miles Pickup. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Pixel True, Pixel Copy, Pixel Publishing, and Marketing Motivators. I spent over 17 years working in finance, sold over $1 billion of financial products. In a very saturated marketplace. So understanding how to differentiate yourself, how to expedite the decision-making process, how to get people to take action was incredibly important when you have billions and billions of dollars being spent on marketing those types of products on an annual basis. So you really have to figure out how to differentiate yourself and how to get consumers and your customers to take action quickly, so that it's not a 9-month sales process, but instead you can expedite it down to a 1 to 3 month sales process. And so that's what we're trying to do when we're building websites and building digital marketing for our clients is really about understanding how can we make this process quick and easy for the consumer so that they are getting what it is that they want in a frictionless environment. So let's talk a little bit about this. So what are heuristics? We're going to go through a little bit about that. We're going to talk about why heuristics matter, and then I'll give you some practical takeaways that you can go through to improve your website design, to guide some user decisions, to enhance user experience by simplifying your navigation, by boosting conversion rates with some intuitive design elements, and creating a user-friendly site that encourages quick decisions. So what are heuristics? Heuristics are essentially mental shortcuts that we use, or rules of thumb that we have as cognitive biases in our brain that help us to make quick decisions without having to think too deeply. If you were to comprehend all of the data that goes into every single decision you make on a daily basis, you would have millions of data points that you would have to calculate, aggregate, and then make a decision on. And it would take forever for you to be able to make any decision. Heuristics are those shortcuts that we've created that allow us to aggregate and approximate and then make quick decisions on all of those different things that we have to decide on a daily basis. So why do heuristics matter in digital marketing and website design? They matter because they simplify the user decisions. If you have too many data points, if you have too many factors that you have to consider when making a decision, your user is not going to make that decision. They're going to defer it, or they're going to move on to something that is simpler for them to understand and easier for them to move forward with. So you can make it easier for your visitors to find what they need, act quickly, and buy that product or sign up for a service or whatever it may be that you're offering, by simplifying your site and by utilizing some of these biases that we have in our brain. So how do heuristics influence behavior? Think of them as tools to deepen user engagement. These are shortcuts that pave the way for faster and easier decision making. So, for example, why do we often pick the busiest restaurant? It's because we assume that popularity equals quality, and that's a heuristic in action. So, before you're going to a restaurant, you're typically going to go on and you're going to check their Google reviews or Yelp or whatever platform you happen to be using. There's a heuristic there, both of popularity, determining quality, but also of social proof. As people that you trust or a platform that you trust gives you an indication as to something's quality, you're going to inherently absorb that trust and be able to utilize it. Similar when somebody goes onto a podcast or onto a YouTube channel, those sorts of things, they're borrowing the credibility of another organization or another individual. That's a heuristic called social proof that you can utilize in order to expedite the decision making process and be able to drive somebody's decision making. So those heuristics can help us to make decisions faster and easier by simplifying somebody's choices. They keep the user engaged by reducing the effort that is needed to decide. We can think about how often we pick the busiest restaurant. We talked about that. Um, you can also use this on your website by showing popular products, top reviews for a product, or the number of active users. If you think about something like booking.com or hotels.com, you'll often go on there and you'll see the number of users that are online at that moment, that are looking at that particular hotel, that have examined it in the past 30 days, whatever it may be. Those are all popular heuristics that are utilized in order to incentivize or to make it easier for somebody to buy. So these simple cues can guide visitors to take the action that you want, like clicking buy or signing up. So some of the pros of heuristics is efficiency. So by utilizing these simple cues to quickly choose what feels right, we can expedite that decision making process. Simplification, it reduces the complexity, it breaks it down into manageable pieces and reduces the mental effort by offering clear, straightforward guidance. People are typically so overwhelmed these days with the amount of options, the amount of choice, the amount of things that they can do, that you have to give them a really straightforward line of process that they can follow, and you have to tell them exactly what it is that you want them to do, what the next action step is for them to be able to take it. Okay. This is throughout any digital marketing. Make it as clear as possible for your customer so that they understand exactly what the next step is for them to engage with you and to gain value from you as an enterprise. And then from a practicality perspective, heuristics fit easily into everyday marketing tactics. So it makes them incredibly adaptable across any platform, whether that be your website, your lead magnets, your social media, webinars, workshops, whatever it is that you may be doing from a digital media perspective or digital marketing perspective. They're highly adaptable to all of those different situations. Some of the cons of using heuristics, even great tools have limitations. Heuristics can sometimes oversimplify a product, a service, or a process, potentially overlooking some important details. And so when you have a much more in-depth product sale or that has a lot of complexity behind it, using too many heuristics can oversimplify it and result in longer term problems with that client because they didn't necessarily understand all of the things that were being sold to them. So you want to make sure that if you do have a very complex product, a very complex service, that you at some point during the sales process, you are providing all of that information or providing access to all of that information so that your customer doesn't come back and go, well, I didn't know this when I purchased it. Additionally, biases can occur, such as favoring familiar options over the best ones. So you really have to make sure that you are utilizing heuristics in a way that is morally and ethically upstanding. You want to make sure that you are acting in the best interest of your customer or your lead rather than using this as a method to get around being morally or ethically responsible. You really need to ensure that you're balancing simplicity with accuracy to use heuristics effectively. If you are being overly simplistic and not accurate to the facts in order to gain that sale, again, you're going to create longer term problems for yourself. And you want to ensure that heuristics are guiding users without misleading them to take action on something that isn't in their best interest. So there are some moral and ethical considerations whenever you're using heuristics or you're using cognitive biases and using human psychology to influence the decision making process. So, how can you add heuristics to your website? Well, there's a number of different ways that you can do this, but generally, you can design your website to empower that quick decision making. So, you can keep it clean, uncluttered, intuitive. You can simplify the navigation, whether it be the navigation bar, whether it be the different blocks that you have in your website, so that they understand exactly what it is that they're going to need to do to gain the value that you deliver through your service or your product by laying it out in a very clean and intuitive manner. You can also highlight those key calls to action to drive that action, to drive the conversions that you're looking for. I'm going to show you a couple other ways that you can utilize this. So one would be using limited time offers. There's an example would be the sale ends in 3 hours, right? This is called urgency, the urgency heuristic. And when you have that, people tend to be more likely to make a decision because they don't want to miss out on that opportunity. You're essentially enacting the heuristic of FOMO, that they have a fear of missing out. And so you want to push that now or never mindset that drives users to act. And just by doing this on your offer, you'll see how quickly your conversions can accelerate. Another one is adding low stock alerts. So if it's a product basis or if you're offering a service that you decide you're only going to take on 10 clients per month, it gives you the opportunity to say there's only 3 items left. That's going to prompt users to buy before it's gone. So scarcity is another very, very powerful heuristic. You can use this, if you look at booking.com as an example, they might put only one room left at this hotel. That scarcity drives people to take action before they miss out on the opportunity. Another one is offering exclusivity. So exclusivity is another powerful one. Time sensitive offers, buy today and get 20% off. Another one would be saying we only accept clients of this quality. That exclusivity makes people feel like it is restricted for individuals that are at their level or above. And so it makes them feel like they want to be involved in this because those people that they feel are lesser than them are less likely to be able to get involved. And so they always want to be climbing, whether it be the social ladder, the perception ladder, all these sorts of things. And so it's important to be utilizing things like exclusivity when you're building out offers. Next would be something called anchoring. So you want to be showing customers the win that they're getting. So if you display discounted prices next to the original price, it feels like they're getting a deal. So they're going to feel as though they are getting more for less money, which makes it increases the perceived value of the offer. Another way to do this with anchoring is to present higher priced items with lower priced options. On a lot of websites, you'll go on there and you'll see the discounted option on the left and the high price option on the right. This is not the right way to go. When you do that, the first price that you're showing them is the price that is going to stick in their brain. The next price is going to appear expensive. So if you have three options, the final price is going to seem very expensive, right? Whereas if you flip that around, because we read left to right, at least in English we do, if you put your highest price offer on the left, the other options are then going to seem like they are a discount or a cheaper, a better option to the highest price option. So typically what you would want to do is have a very, very high priced premium offering on your left-hand side, and then you're going to have your preferred offer in the center, and you're going to have your budget offer on the right. What that will do is it will drive individuals to the middle offer because of a number of heuristics. They're going to make that decision because that is going to seem like the best offer for them. The budget offer feels like it's for people that don't have any capital or any money to invest. The premium offer is going to look more expensive. So you're going to try to build out the promotion of that middle offer so you drive as much towards that one as possible. You want to make sure that anytime you are building a site, you are utilizing a higher price at the beginning of the site and then moving down in price so that you can utilize that anchoring heuristic. So a couple of common heuristics in action: Amazon, Netflix, Booking as examples. So for Amazon, frequently bought together suggestions. That's a great heuristic that simplifies the decision-making process for customers. This can be done on just about any website for adding to cart. You can have when you go to the cart screen, you can have somebody go there and there will be other options that they can buy. This will dramatically increase the amount of the average cart price for you, and will drive your revenue up pretty significantly. Netflix, personalized suggestions. Personalization is another heuristic. If you receive bulk emails in your inbox and they don't have your name or anything like that, they don't feel personal, you're much more likely to delete them than you are to read them. As an example, if you get an email with your name in the subject line, you're much more likely to open it because you believe that it is specifically being sent to you. So if you're doing email marketing, utilizing personalization, having somebody's first name multiple times through an email is much more likely to draw them in and to have them complete reading that whole email. Booking.com, I've used this reference a couple times so far in this conversation. They're driving action with urgent alerts like only one room left. This room has been booked 32 times in the past 24 hours. Other users have said this about this particular resort, those sorts of things. They're playing on multiple heuristics in order to get you to take action now. So we talked about some of the common types of heuristics. There's a couple more for us to cover. Representativeness is decisions based on pattern recognition. So if you see a pattern that you have seen before and you recognize it, it is going to allow you to make that decision faster. So this is why a lot of websites wind up looking similar, is because users have become accustomed to a very specific style of utilization of websites, and they if you change it up too much, they're not able to utilize representativeness as a heuristic to make that decision making. They then have to go through and make brand new decisions based on new data, which is challenging for them. And for a number of users, that's going to be an automatic no. They're just going to move away from that because it becomes too challenging for them to do. So utilizing representativeness to make sure that your website, while it may need to look different, doesn't look so different that the user experience of it causes them to avoid making decisions on it. Availability, so choices guided by recent vivid examples. So available information in their brain, if they have seen something very recent that is associated with what they're doing right now. As an example, if they saw somebody, a fire as an example that's going on currently in Los Angeles. If they've seen this, they're going to worry about that, and they're going to make decisions that are based on those vivid examples that they have recently seen. So they're going to be much more concerned about the safety of their family with regards to fires because they have seen a recent vivid example of it. Anchoring, we talked about this, initial information shaping the perception and choices that you make going forward. So pricing is a very good one to do with that, but there's also a number of other ways that you can utilize anchoring in order to anchor their thought process on a particular fact or judgment, and then be able to influence that as you move on through the decision. So again, users evaluating the situation based on a resemblance to past experiences. Assuming someone is a lawyer because they wear a suit is a good example of that. A lawyer, a stockbroker, that sort of thing. The individuals that you see previously wearing something is going to indicate your belief in what it is that they are in the future. The availability heuristic, talked a little bit about this already. This is why the latest and loudest information sticks. So people tend to avoid flights after hearing about plane crashes, even if they are incredibly rare. We amplify stellar testimonials and success stories because those are going to be that availability heuristic, that piece of information is what they're going to then apply to any future information that they receive. Again, anchoring and adjustment heuristic. So decisions based on the first piece of information that they're given, and then making adjustments afterward is going to be a very effective method for expediting that decision-making process. So why do heuristics work for website marketing? It's because it shortens the amount of time that somebody needs to make a decision. It helps to cut through all of the noise and all of the different things that they are thinking about, and helps them to focus on what really matters quickly. It removes the friction of decision making, and that's really what we're trying to do in digital marketing at this point, is remove as much friction as possible so that those transactions can happen incredibly easily without complication. It creates that smooth journey that turns leads into conversions, and that simplicity is a win for everyone. It's a win for you. It's a win for your customers. It creates that frictionless transaction. So a case study. implementing heuristics on a website, we worked with a flower brand, a florist in Las Vegas, and we simplified their homepage in order to reduce the amount of decision fatigue. So individuals were going on to this website. They would see thousands and thousands of options of different floral arrangements and different options for making purchases, and it just led to exhaustion from the consumer. So what we did is we simplified it and created directions that the user could go in order to quickly make a decision on what it was that they were looking for. Are you looking for flowers for a gift? Are you looking for it for a sorry, a particular situation, an engagement, a birthday, that sort of thing, or is this for an event? And by driving people in those different directions, it simplified the decision making by allowing them to determine what it was that they were coming to the site for. And then once they clicked on that, they had simple options that they were able to choose from. It streamlined the process so that we could dramatically increase the amount of people that when they got to the site, they actually made the decision to purchase something. We also made it so that it was more engaging. We added the anchoring heuristic. So you would start with the highest price and then move down to the lower price, and it dramatically increased the amount of people that were buying those mid-priced packages. And what we found is that it actually drove people from buying the cheaper packages to a higher price package just because of the way that we set it up. Additionally, we did a number of things with regards to the add to cart and the once somebody had things in their cart with regards to showing other products that they might want to buy. So similar purchasers bought this, and that average cart value went up dramatically. So we wound up creating about a 35% increase in their conversions, and it wound up being an over 300% increase in their revenue from online sales. It is incredible the difference you can make by doing some of these things. So let's recap some of the pros and cons of this. We want to empower speed and simplicity when we are building out a website. We want the decision making to be efficient. We want it to be practical. So, we're utilizing common sense in marketing and making it simple for the user to follow what they need to do in order to get value from your product or service. Some of those downsides include oversimplification. For very complex products, you want to make sure that your sales process goes above and beyond just having them click on the website. There needs to be that additional information session to ensure that they truly understand the product or the service before they make that buying decision. But at least you can be getting lead conversions on your website so that then your in-person sales process can cover all the complexities of the product. Additionally, biases can lead to inaccurate decisions based on limited knowledge. So if you're not acting in a morally or ethically responsible manner, you can wind up causing people to buy products that aren't necessarily in their best interest. And then you wind up with complaints down the road, chargebacks, all those sorts of things. So operating in a moral and ethical manner is incredibly important. So some practical takeaways. We can start using heuristics today. Number one, start auditing your site. Where can you simplify your site? What can you do in order to make the process faster for your clients to get from visiting your site to purchasing in 3 clicks? That's the goal. Is can you get them to completing a purchase in 3 simple clicks? Another thing, adding urgency tactics like timers or low stock notes, limited availability, exclusivity offers. All of those are going to make a difference in the amount of conversions that you get on your website. Another thing that you can do is showcasing compelling testimonials and deals, utilizing social proof. So building out that belief that if other people value this product, they will value this product. So using reviews, using influencers or user-generated content, those sorts of things are incredibly powerful for getting somebody to agree that this is the right product for themselves. Offering deals, limited time deals, another thing that you can do. Make sure that you're experimenting. Make sure that you understand the results before you make the change too. So go through your Google Analytics, your GA4, go through your conversion rates, all these sorts of things, and get a baseline of where your website is right now, or where your lead magnets are, anything like that. Make simple changes and measure the success so that you can see what is working for your ideal client profile, right? Because each ideal client profile is going to have different needs, different biases that are more likely to affect them. So when you're making these changes, you want to ensure that you understand which changes are the most effective with regards to your particular clients. And then, those small changes are going to bring big outcomes. Celebrate those wins. Make sure that you're embracing it and looking for other places where you can implement those across your digital marketing, across different websites, across your landing pages, across your social media, that sort of thing. So Q&A and final thoughts. If you're interested and you'd like an audit of your website, an audit of your digital marketing, of your lead magnets, your landing pages, those sorts of things, you're welcome to reach out to me. Warren@pixeltrue.com. Just send me an email. Let me know that you'd be interested in going through this, and I'd be happy to sit down and go through your website, your digital marketing with you, and see if there's areas for improvement. Take this away and take action on it. Make sure that you're making a couple of those changes that I talked about, those practical takeaways. If there's any other information you'd like, please don't hesitate to let me know. Right now, I'll open it up for any Q&A if there's anybody that has any questions, and I'll provide an answer for you. Doesn't look like I have any Q&A at the moment, so we'll stop the recording right now. And